He says the 3-foot social distancing thing says you can implement this tomorrow. I think that's pretty naive.
Tonight, Governor Inslee making announcements affecting all students in Washington. How quickly the governor says he needs this in place and what schools are saying. Plus, the Panhandle Health Board voting on a mask mandate this coming the same day the district announced a variant from the California area.
The last batch of showers is moving out of the region and drying out, and I'm tracking drier weather and milder temperatures for this upcoming weekend.
And today, I'm glad to be able to say Washington is embracing new guidelines that are safe, that will allow even more students back into schools on a more normal setting.
There you have it. Good news for Washington students. Governor Inslee says students don't always need to keep that 6 feet distance apart when they return to schools. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Regina Ahn. Well, new COVID protocols announced for Washington schools today. The requirement for distancing in classrooms has been dropped from 6 feet to 3 feet, but districts have still been given the option to stay at the 6-foot spacing if they want. So what will this actually mean for local classrooms? Our Casey Decker looked into that tonight.
Governor Inslee said that these changes take effect immediately, but in practice that won't be the case for most local students. The two largest districts in the county, Spokane Public Schools and Central Valley, both told us tonight their boards will have to assess the options and make a decision at a later date. And there is actually quite a bit to assess, as the president of the local teachers union told us tonight.
A layperson might say, well, you're going from 6 feet to 3 feet. You just shove a desk and a kid in between those two dots. Pretty simple. And it's far more complicated than that.
Jeremy Shea says implementing the current protocols took a lot of time and manpower, and changing them up would too.
I know in the governor's press release, he's like, you can implement this tomorrow. Well, in a district this size, with all the modifications and changes that we've put in place to get back to in-person, any small change like this presents a whole host of logistical questions that have to be answered.
For one, it would create a huge burden for a custodial staff that's already burdened with severe sanitation measures.
We took furniture out of rooms to make space for this. So you're talking about having to return furniture back to buildings that's been put into storage.
Shea says this also creates new questions for how to handle student transportation and could possibly make contact tracing more difficult. Beyond that, they have to navigate the myriad exceptions to the 3-foot rule. Inslee said today 6-foot distancing is still required in common areas, or while doing activities like exercise or music, or while eating. And a lot of that currently happens in the classrooms.
You wouldn't really be able to adjust that spacing to 3 feet because they have to eat there.
So although it seems like a simple change, Shea says sorting all this out and actually implementing it could take nearly to the end of the school year, at which point he wonders, is it worth it for kids who have already endured so much upheaval?
One more change, while it seems like a simple one, is asking a lot of a system that's been in what seems like a constant state of change over the course of the school year.
The union hasn't explicitly come out against making these changes, but it's clear that for larger districts, this isn't something that we'll see take effect right away. Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
Well, not only was there big news on the coronavirus front in Washington, but Idaho as well. Masks are no longer required in North Idaho, so that's Idaho's 5 northern counties, Bonner, Kootenai, Benawasha, Shoshone, and Boundary. It comes after the Panhandle Health District Board voted 5-2 to rescind the current mask mandate that was set to expire on April 22nd. The mask mandate has been in effect since the past November. And the decision comes as 2 new variants of the COVID-19 have been detected in Spokane County and in North Idaho, both originating from California. 2 different variants were first detected in California back in July 2020. They're known as B1427 and B1429 variants. Early research from the CDC shows these variants may be more infectious and could potentially cause more severe disease. The State Department of Health says there are 4 cases of the B1429 variants and 1 case of the B1427 variant found in Spokane County. And over in North Idaho, the Panhandle Health District discovered 1 case of the B1427 variant. This is the first variant found in North Idaho. Thousands of people with felony convictions in Washington could soon have their voting rights restored when they have been released from prison. State lawmakers approved the measure last night. It now heads to the governor's desk for approval. Right now, people with felonies can already regain their voting rights, but it isn't easy. For some, community supervision can last for years, even a lifetime. Other people can't afford court-ordered fees. Both prevent formerly incarcerated people from being able to vote. The bill the governor is expected to sign would make it automatic upon release. 20 other states have similar laws in place. Landline users may need to adjust their dialing habits starting April 24th. Washington, the 509 area code can be dialed when making a local call, but by October, local calls in eastern Washington won't work unless the area code is dialed first. So the 10-digit dialing change must be made by July of 2022. That's when the FCC launches a 3-digit suicide prevention hotline. Now, the change isn't just for eastern Washington. More than 80 area codes in 36 states will have to make the change as well. Turning to weather now, another cooler than average day out there all across the inland Northwest. Michelle Boss joining us now here live. Michelle, can we still count on a warm weekend, though?
Yes, we are going to finally see temperatures warm back up into the 50s and maybe even the low 60s. It was another day where we were kind of stuck in the 40s. Made it to 49, but not quite 50 degrees. Also saw a few showers, not much in Spokane, but you can see what's left of the shower activity now pushing south of I-90 into southeastern Washington. Only a trace of rainfall in the Spokane airport, about 200ths in Pullman, 400ths at Deer Park. Could be seeing a few sprinkles in the Moses Lake area over the last hour or so, but even that's pushing out of the way. A little bit of lightning down towards Colotis earlier this evening. The temperatures are settling down to the 30s and 40s, 40 in Spokane, 36 in Coeur d'Alene, already down to freezing in Deer Park. So we do still have a chilly morning ahead of us as temperatures dip down to the freezing level by early tomorrow morning. But we should see plenty of sunshine tomorrow, and that will help boost temperatures back up into the mid 50s with mostly sunny skies. Not looking bad on Saturday either. Partly sunny, 56. Sunday will be the warmest day, 60 degrees with partly sunny skies, but we could see some strong winds moving in Sunday evening.